Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome back. This is the MMA Circle, where I give you my breakdowns and predictions for fights, and we talk about MMA in general. For this fight, we're doing the third fight from the top of the card, which is another number 1 and number 2 ranked fighters in their division, in Fabricio Werdum and Cain Velasquez. This one might be a long one, but bear with me. The first fight, it started off with Cain dominating in the clinch and Werdum trying to circle off, and Cain was landing some nice short shots from the clinch when he had Werdum with his back against the cage. Werdum slowly started to pull away because Cain was having a hard time keeping him up against the cage, and so Cain started throwing looping shots, and Werdum was popping him with straight shots down the middle with, counters and combos before Cain could get his guard back up. Cain and his team chalked this loss up to the altitude of Mexico City, but I think there's more to it than just that. Werdum was hitting him with some nasty body shots, mostly knees and kicks, and as the fight progressed, I really think those had an effect on Cain's cardio. I also think that Werdum rocked Cain several times in that fight, and that had an effect on Cain's performance as well. Werdum, on the other hand, didn't really seem to be in trouble at any point in the fight. In the first fight, Cain was reluctant to go to the ground with Werdum, as most people are. However, towards the end, he really started shooting for takedowns, most likely because he needed a break to catch his breath and regather himself. I don't think he wanted to be active on the ground or pursue a finish or even have a grappling exchange with Werdum. But he was certainly shooting for the takedowns, and eventually Cain gets lazier and lazier with the takedown attempts, and Werdum catches his neck up in a guillotine and gets the tap from Cain Velasquez to become the new heavyweight champion of the world. Another thing these guys have in common is that both of their last fights were against one man in Travis Browne, so let's break these down. A lot of people are speculating that because Cain finished Browne and Fabricio didn't, that Cain is going to dominate in this fight, and I don't think that's the case at all, and let me tell you why. Cain did finish Browne in the first round, but it wasn't a clean KO. In fact, very few of Cain's finishes are knockouts. The majority of them are TKOs when his opponent is just too exhausted or too overwhelmed to defend himself intelligently. On the flip side, Werdum went to a decision with Travis Browne. However, if you recall that fight should have been stopped in the first round via TKO too. Werdum threw a strike that ended up breaking Travis Browne's finger. Travis Browne proceeded to call a timeout, and referee Gary Copeland stopped the action. Right then and there, the fight should have been stopped. TKO win for Werdum. However, Gary Copeland restarted the fight after Browne said he was okay to continue. In any other fight, with any other referee, that fight would have been stopped. Ultimately, it doesn't make a difference because Werdum still won that fight, won all 3 rounds, but just to clarify, I think both fighters should have a TKO victory over Travis Browne right now. Let's look at this fight. Since their last fight, Cain Velasquez has fought 1 fight for a total of about 1 round. Werdum has had 2 fights and for a total of 4 rounds. Werdum has been the more active fighter and has had the most octagon time since these two last met. I think this does play in Werdum's favor, but doesn't necessarily give him an edge. Also in Werdum's favor is the fact that Cain said he's going into surgery immediately after this fight, and he recently clarified that it is back surgery. Who knows if this is going to affect his performance? Cain saying it's not. But, dude, I mean, if you have a hurt back, have any of you ever had a hurt back? How did that affect your performance fucking getting up off the couch and walking to the bathroom? So, I don't know, man. It's tough. I think this fight's going to go down similar to the first. Both guys in their fights against Browne showed the same basic patterns that they showed in their first fight against each other. They both added different techniques to their arsenal, but stuck to the same game plans that got them to the dance. Cain's only path to victory is forward pressure, get in the clinch, and beat the hell out of a guy until the referee feels sorry for them. He can hope to get a clean KO finish over Werdum, but I think that's unlikely. You have to remember that when Stipe Miocic knocked Werdum out, Werdum was chasing Miocic, who was content with staying on the outside. Werdum started throwing sloppy strikes while chasing Miocic down to try and close the distance and ended up getting caught. He doesn't have to chase Cain down. Cain is a forward pressure fighter that's going to come to Werdum, and most likely Cain will be the one walking into Werdum's punches. Miocic is a Golden Gloves boxer too, and Cain Velasquez isn't. I'm not saying Cain has the worst striking I've ever seen, but if you put boxing gloves on him and Miocic and throw them into the middle of a boxing ring and tell him punches only, Miocic is most likely going to come out on top. And he's probably going to come out on top with most guys in the heavyweight division. I think Werdum wins this fight by throwing uppercuts and knees up the middle and catching Cain as he's attempting to come in for the clinch. I think he can rock him and eventually get a finish. Werdum just has more ways of finishing the fight. He can submit Cain, he can knock him out, and he can potentially win a decision if he wears Cain down some in the first round and starts pulling away in the second and third. Cain has about as much of a chance of submitting Werdum as I have of banging Jennifer Lawrence in my 2001 Chevy Blazer, right? It's just not going to happen. Probably not going to happen anyways. I mean, you know, the latter's definitely not going to happen, but the former is probably not going to happen. His path to victory rests mostly on a grinding decision or a late TKO finish. So, my prediction for this fight is that Werdum wins in the third round via submission, making him the only... Oh, no, not anymore. He's not the only underdog on the main card that I think is going to win because I got bored now. But I do think Fabricio pulls it off, gets the finish over Cain Velasquez. Cain goes into surgery. We see him sometime in 2018, and everybody swears he's still Cardio Cain and still this monster. But let's see, man. Let's see. Let me know if you like my prediction. If you do, like and comment. If you disagree, which I'm expecting a lot of people to disagree with this one, let me know. Let me know why. I already know what you're going to say pretty much though. Oh, that was altitude Cain. This is sea level Cain. Cain's a beast. He's the best in the world and blah, blah, blah and whatever, man. But, you know, I'm going with Werdum on this one. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Please like and subscribe and tune into the next one. Peace.